Okay, so most people look at the last 10 years of internet culture. Left versus right, red pill versus blue hair, Sigma male versus woke. Are we still saying woke? I feel like we aren't saying woke anymore. Now, everybody has an opinion on this. The conservatives think the liberals ruined everything. The liberals think the conservatives ruined everything. But all of them are spending 16 hours a day on an app owned by a Chinese company getting furious at each other about it. And both sides are convinced that everything they're feeling is absolutely organic. Just real people with real reactions reacting to a real world. But what if it's not, though? What if somebody built all of this? Not like evil villain with a cat or some guy in a basement going, yes, divide them further. More like smart people, rich people, people who looked at the internet and said, do you know what this is? This is an instrument, and then proceeded to play it. You felt it, right? Like something's off. The anger online is too clean. It's too organized. The algorithm keeps showing you content that makes you feel bad about yourself, and somehow you keep watching it, and somehow it keeps being free, and somehow you never stop to ask, why is it free? It's free because you are the product. Now, I want to be upfront about something before we get into this. I've been sitting on the Bannon / Epstein / 4chan thread for a while now. This was going to be a completely different episode. More abstract, more political, something I've been studying and working on for months because the pieces kept falling into place and it didn't seem like anyone was fitting them all together correctly. And then every platform I'm on started to promote this kid hitting himself in the face with a hammer. And suddenly this abstract thing that I had been researching had a face on it. A 20-year-old face, to be precise, with very concerning cheekbones. That's when I knew I had to make this episode. So tonight, like we always do, we're going to follow the money. Because what started out as a gambling website ended at a 20-year-old hitting himself in the face with a hammer, finding himself at a Peter Thiel dinner party. And that's actually the least surprising part of this entire story. Once you see how it all connects, you won't be able to unsee it. And by the end of tonight's episode, you'll know exactly why you feel the way you feel every time you pick up your phone. We're going to meet a platform that's secretly a casino. And we'll get back to the kid with the hammer. And we're going to end up in a place that nobody's thinking to look, even though everybody's kind of already looking there. Oh, and somewhere in the middle, I'm going to do a fake ad that is probably more honest than anything you'll ever see on kick.com. I'm Gemini Jonny. This is The Rational Rundown. All right, to really understand what's happening here, we're gonna have to go all the way back to 2022 because something rare happened. Something that almost never happens on the internet. The good guys won one. Won.
Twitch banned gambling. Those are 3 words I thought I'd never be able to say.
All right, let's get started. Twitch has banned gambling.
Twitch has banned gambling. It's been over a year that I've been advocating for this.
A Twitch streamer by the name of It's Slicker.
Hi. High five.
Great name, by the way. Went on stream and told his fans that he was in trouble, that he needed money. And his fans, his lovely, parasocial, emotionally invested fans, they helped real people, real cash, because they cared about him. They sent him money, thousands of dollars. He then gambled away every single dollar. Every dollar.
Ever since CSGO, not to blame, but, you know, gamble skins and stuff, eventually I found out you could gamble with money.
Now look, I'm not here to judge Slicker. That's a gambling addiction. That's a disease. And that is a real thing that ruins real people's lives. But also, bro, when this got out, the biggest streamers on Twitch went nuclear. They demanded Twitch ban gambling content, and Twitch, a corporation owned by Amazon, they listened and they did the right thing. They completely banned gambling content. I know, it's wild. The good guys won for once. Except 6 months later, XQC signed a deal with Kick for $100 million. Dollars. Now look, I'm not mad at XQC, okay? I mean, $100 million is $100 million. Come on, I don't care how principled you are. Nobody is turning down $100 million. The point isn't XQC, the point is Kick. Because here's what nobody is saying out loud about Kick.com. It's not a streaming platform. It operates like a streaming platform. It looks like a streaming platform. It talks like a streaming platform, but it is not a streaming platform. It is a casino. Stake.com, one of the biggest online crypto casinos in the world. built Kick specifically to find new gambling customers. That's it. That's the whole business model. Find young men, keep them entertained, get them gambling. Now, I've been calling this vertical capture. Vertical capture is when one company quietly owns every layer of the pipeline. The platform, the talent, the audience, and the product. All of it. One direction. Not the band. Casino. Think about it like a nightclub, where the entry is free but the drinks are like $15, $20 each. The club isn't selling you a night out, the club is selling you alcohol. The free entry is just how they get you in the door. So Kick is the free entry, Steak is the $19 drink, and it seems like they've also found their DJ. Their number one streamer, the guy at the top of the whole platform, just also happens to be sponsored by Steak. So the casino owns the platform, sponsors the talent, who brings in the audience to the casino. That's not a business relationship, that's a food chain. So who's the DJ? But first, since we're talking about Steak and their completely above the board, super ethical business practices. And that is why CopeCasino.com. It just told me to start. Okay, Cope Casino. Oh, chat, Scott got bad 61, dropped $5. Please get help. Thank you for the $5. I just put it on black. Guys, I want to be transparent with you. I have lost on this platform an amount of money that is a word equivalent to a word greater than what I started with. I don't know what that name is. My accountant won't call me back. And new players get 100% deposit match up to $500. That's $500 that will exist for approximately 4 to 7 minutes before it's gone in a puff of smoke. And Cope Casino's proprietary blockchain makes sure that every loss is perfectly fully visible, completely documented, and totally irreversible. It's perfect! Use my code at sign up. Or not, I don't care. I get paid regardless, and my therapist gets the new boat no matter what. CopeCasino.com. You're going to lose, but you're going to lose so fast. Now, the audience Kick has built skews mostly young, mostly male, mostly insecure, which, by the way, describes pretty much every male between the ages of 13 and 25. We were all insecure at that age. You think you weren't? You were. I was. We all were. The only difference between then and now is that we didn't have the internet handing us a 12-step program on how to become a completely different person. Now we do. And the guy spearheading that program on Kick is named Braden Peters, 20 years old, New Jersey, SAT score of 1570. That's a real score. That's a good score. This kid could have been anything he wanted. He could have been a doctor or a lawyer.
That's starting to hurt, man.
Instead, he chose to become Clavicular. Such a name.
Ladies, I'm trying to get my black belt. What can we do?
Are you retarded, or do you just purposely use ebonics to make your steam stupider? That doesn't really make any sense.
Did you? Because I really just said
I did.
I mean, I could.
I did. I
do you want me to
just
say
asked
it
you what
again
you
right
said,
now?
so that's me checking you.
I mean, it's like what?
Now, you might not know that name yet, and pretty soon you'll wish you never did. Clavicular is the #1 streamer on Kick. His whole thing is teaching young men to become more attractive versions of themselves. Self-improvement content, which, look, in theory, fine. Take care of yourself, go to the gym, drink water, whatever. Except his version of self-improvement is something a little bit different.
For 3 days, I spammed a combination of Adderall and methamphetamine for appetite suppression. I literally went on a 3-day fast and stayed awake the entire time, and I lost 5 pounds.
And it's something I've been calling the descent loop. The descent loop is the path from brush your teeth all the way down to inject your girlfriend's face with unapproved chemicals on camera for a live stream. And the genius part, if you can call it that, is that every single step makes sense after the one before it. You never see how far you've gone until you take a look back. So here's how the loop works. Step 1, soft maxing. Brush your teeth. Wear clothes that fit you. Get a good 8 hours of sleep. Drink water. That's all just being a person. Fine. And step 2, mewing. Now, for my millennials out there, this has nothing to do with Pokemon as I originally thought. This is the practice of pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth forever. Because someone on the internet said it will reshape your jawline. Okay. Surely step 3 couldn't be anything that's insane and crazy and a huge leap forward. Well, bone smashing. Bone smashing. You take a hammer and you hit yourself in the face with it. On purpose. Repeatedly. And the idea is that it's going to give you really nice cheekbones someday. Now, this practice of clavs evolved from originally using a metal trophy to do the smashing, which had evolved from him setting himself up which has evolved from him pressing his face against the wall and punching himself in the face over and over. I can't believe this is a real thing. In his own words, I just punch out my zygos for like 1 minute. Alright, bro.
Bone smashing. Yeah, bone smashing is amazing. It's where you're gonna punch yourself in the face.
Step 4, black market steroids at 14, shipped to a P.O. box he had to get behind his parents' back. His parents found them, took them away, gave them back a couple days later.
My mom allowed me to, have the steroids to begin with, so it was kind of her fault. What was she gonna say? She took them away for a day, and I was like, dude, and then she just gave them back. So,
great job, guys. Good job with the 14-year-old. I don't even have a joke for that. I'm just gonna keep it moving. Step 5, crystal meth. What? Yes, crystal meth, not to be confused with the #1 stripper of the northeast region of the Panhandle in Oklahoma. No, the drug. But not for fun, for hollow cheeks, to stay lean.
Ladies, you guys are really pretty. You want to do some meth? Are you sure? Well, it gives you hollow cheeks,
Says he prefers it over cocaine because it, quote, lasts longer. There's some other people who have the same feelings about the drug. And I mean, technically, he's not wrong. And step 6, of course, as these things always lead to, he injected his 17-year-old girlfriend's face with fat-dissolving chemicals. On stream, with a needle he bought on the internet. A substance not approved by the FDA. And when she looked at him and told him that it started to hurt a lot, he looked her dead in her eye and said,
We're ascending.
We're ascending? You little... He did all of that, does all of that, to look like this. Which is, something. Now, if the story ended here, this would just be some weird internet story. Messy kid, found an audience, algorithm does what algorithm do. These things happen. But here's where it stops being funny. Now, someone asked him directly, is this a passion project? Do you actually believe in all the stuff that you're pushing?
I hate every single second of it. All right? I hate literally every single second that I'm live. I hate my community. I hate every single one of you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, absolutely. I do hate streaming.
And then, unprompted, during a completely different conversation, he said this.
This is not character development. This is a horror story of what the fuck happened. So I'm just going with the flow.
Sit with that for a second. The guy telling teenagers to hit themselves in the face with hammers and do meth for nice cheekbones is looking directly at a camera and telling you that his own life is a horror story. That's not me being mean. That's him being honest. Probably the most honest he's ever been on a live stream. Now, most people stop here, see a messy kid, move on, not worth your time. But let's take a look at who this kid is spending his time with. Earlier this year, Clavicular hosted what they called, unironically named themselves, the Avengers of Streaming Tour. I can't even say it. 14 hours. Featuring the likes of the Tate brothers, currently on trial for sex trafficking in Romania, Nick Fuentes, admitted white nationalist, self-hating Mexican, and closeted wannabe badass.
We have got to talk about the fundamentals of our worldview and what it would look like to build a society based on our distinct worldview. It looks like a society where women don't have the right to vote. And it looks like a society where boys and girls get married as teenagers and start having kids. And they don't use birth control and they don't use contraceptives and they have big families and a high birth rate. And it looks like women wearing veils at church. And it looks like women not being in the workforce.
And a far-right political candidate from Florida who in this very stream floated the idea that he may be able to use the N-word pass. Well, guys.
I was one of only 2 white kids in my entire high school senior class.
Oh, shit. Okay. So,
So you got the pass?
I think I have the pass. I haven't used it, but I think I have it.
The N-word pass? Sir, you are running for office. What are you doing on a live stream with 24-year-olds or whatever? What a loser. Just guys being dudes. right? Surely they won't get up to any hijinks. Now, the Fuentes thing specifically, Clavicular didn't just meet him. He actually told him he had been a fan of his for a very long time. Since Clavicular was in the 7th grade, which I get was like 5 years ago, but he found him during the Groyper Wars in 2019.
I started, I think, watching Nick streams from time to time when I was in 7th grade. I found out about him during the Groyper Wars in 2019.
So we have a 13-year-old Braden Peters, isolated, no real friends, alone and on the internet for hours. And the algorithm was feeding him Nick Fuentes. The descent loop, running perfectly. Now this 14-hour extravaganza ended in a Miami nightclub where they asked the DJ to play that Kanye song. Which they also, of course, listened to in the Sprinter van on the way to the club. But inside the club, the DJ played it, and they sang along on camera to hundreds of thousands of people. And look, we all know that song because it made the headlines because of its content. I don't know that song. I can't imagine singing along to that song in public, much less on camera, in a nightclub, flanked by actual admitted Nazis to the left and right of you. And obviously the backlash hit, Clavicular's response.
But like, at the end of the day,
you're being
it's like, I don't know why you're trying to make me this political figure when it's something that I've tried so hard to avoid. It's like, I want to talk about looksmaxxing.
And when asked about his politics,
I hate politics. So if whoever wants to give me the fattest bag, let's be real. Republicans, Democrats, if you guys want to give me a bunch of money, I'll go each and every way, brother. Come on now.
No beliefs, no values, just a pipeline, open for business, pointed at teenagers. And here's the part I was actually already working on. Before Clavicular and looksmaxxing and facial bone structure invaded my brain through every app on my phone, a 20-year-old who hits himself in the face with a hammer is getting New York Times coverage. And I started the show to talk about UFOs and government disclosure and weird internet stuff, and now I'm explaining what mewing is. It's not where I saw this going, but here we are. So the stream ends, the Tate brothers have said things that would make your grandmother cry, that Kanye song has been sung. Clavicular goes home, opens his laptop, gambles. Live on stream on stake.com. With his promo code sitting at the bottom of the screen, of course. On Kick, which is owned by Stake. Vertical capture. Complete. The casino owns the platform, pays the streamer. The streamer runs the descent loop on teenagers, and the teenagers end up at the casino. Someone built that machine. I don't think they built it by accident. Oh, and on Christmas Eve of 2025, he ran over a man with his Cybertruck.
Oh my fucking... Oh my god!
When asked if the guy was dead or not, he said,
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Charges were not filed. When he found out about that, he told his chat to spam dubs.
No criminal charges filed after Cybertruck crash. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Yo, everyone spam dubs in the chat. Spam dubs in the chat. Holy fuck, boys.
It's such a dumb... This is the stupidest shit I've ever learned about in my life. Real talk for a second. I'm not making this video because I think Clavicular is a villain. Honestly, I think he's 20 years old and has no idea what he's actually a part of. I think he's a lonely, insecure kid who the internet handed a blueprint and he followed it without asking who wrote it or why. I get it. I was 20 once. I wanted female attention more than anything on earth, probably. But I thought I was going overboard with my 6-step skincare routine. But there is a big gap between a 6-step skincare routine and injecting your girlfriend's face with chemicals on a live stream. And we have now identified what that gap is. It's somewhere around step 3. Stop at step 3, please, for the love of God. If you've got a younger brother, a cousin, any young male figure in your life who spends a lot of time online, just check in on what they're watching. Not in a weird way, don't be that uncle. Just a quick check. Just ask them what they like to watch. You know, check in on them. Because the pipeline I'm about to describe didn't find Clavicular by accident. It built him. Which brings me to the conspiracy corner. Okay, so here's the thing about everything I just showed you. If most people look at the descent loop, the looksmaxxing, the bone smashing, the meth, the Tate brothers, the Hitler song, Clavicular sitting at the top of a casino's streaming platform. and call it random. Say it's just the internet being weird. That is the wrong way to look at this. And once you see what's actually underneath it, you won't be able to unsee it. What I'm about to describe to you is what I've been calling the architecture. Now, the architecture is the system that was built to capture young men's attention, chip away at how they see themselves, push them toward extreme ideas, and make enormous amounts of money off of their insecurity along the way. It wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built by just one person, but it was built on purpose. And the people who built it left a paper trail. Let's go. October 2011, Jeffrey Epstein, convicted sex offender who somehow still gets invited to everything, has dinner with a 23-year-old named Christopher Poole. Not to be confused with the douche who won't take off the beanie. Jeffrey Epstein had dinner with Christopher Poole. You know Christopher Poole's work even if you don't recognize the name. He's Moot, the founder of 4chan. 4 days after that dinner, 4 days, Epstein's advisor, Boris Nikolic, sends him an email. This is what it says. The potential for manipulation is huge. He's talking about 4chan. Its power to shape what people think, what people feel, what people believe is real. The next day, /poll launches. Now, if you don't know, /poll is 4chan's political board. It is the single most effective radicalization machine the internet has ever produced. It took fringe ideas and turned them into memes. Then turned memes into a movement, and turned a movement into a culture war that has completely taken over everyday life, and turned every family Thanksgiving into a geopolitical negotiation. And it launched the day after Jeffrey Epstein had dinner with the founder of 4chan. Interesting. Now I know what you may be thinking. People have dinners. Timing can be random. People build things. Things get built. You're right. One thing is a coincidence, but here's what else was happening. The Epstein files, as we all know at this point, public record, partially unsealed, show documented contact between Jeffrey Epstein and Steve Bannon. Not a quick hello, not a mutual friend situation. Calls, texts, emails, sharing strategy, trading political intelligence, talking about how to shape elections. And not just talking. Bannon allegedly filmed 15 hours with Epstein. 15 hours? I don't think I've talked to my mom for 15 hours this year. No, that's not someone you bump into. That's a collaborator. And what was Bannon working on? What was his big project? Well, he has said out loud, publicly, and on record that internet communities and meme culture could be weaponized politically. That young men, radicalized through jokes and online posts, could be used as a real political force. He understood exactly what 4chan had built. And he understood what /poll was doing to a generation of young men who felt left behind, and he had no intention of stopping it. He wanted to use it. Oh, and there's also this, an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Thiel, sent the night of Brexit. It says, Brexit, just the beginning. Not, oh no, not, this is concerning, not, oh, I hope they get this figured out. Celebration. He sees democracy fracturing and he's excited about it. Almost like a man watching a plan come together. Epstein, Bannon, Thiel. Documented. In contact. All looking at Western society starting to crumble and thinking, good. Now here's where I need to be careful, because on my channel, documented facts and unverified theories are still two different things, and I will always tell you which is which. Now there's a theory that the internet has been piecing together for a while about Ghislaine Maxwell and Reddit. An account called u/Maxwell Hill, active since 2011, moderating major subreddits with real influence over what millions of people read and believe. Allegedly run by Ghislaine Maxwell. Confirmed? No. Proven? Also no. But here's my actual question, not whether it was her specifically. Is the pattern plausible? And what we already know, from the files, from the emails, from an Epstein advisor literally writing, the potential for manipulation is huge. About 4chan, 4 days after meeting its founder, is that these people saw the internet as a weapon. They said it. They acted on it. The idea that they'd also want control over what narratives survive on Reddit isn't a conspiracy theory. It's just Tuesday for these people. And here's where the threads all start to come together. Peter Thiel. It's always Peter Thiel, isn't it? Thiel is the connective tissue of the architecture. Documented financial connection to Epstein through Valor Ventures. In the files. Connected to Bannon, a very specific pattern of funding across media, politics, and tech that always targets the same group: young men. Anti-establishment, suspicious of everything, ready to be told the game is rigged and someone has all the answers. That's not politics. That's a customer profile. And now, allegedly, a connection to the #1 streamer on an online casino's streaming platform. Here's what we know. In his first 3 months of streaming on Kick, 3 months, a mystery donor going only by the name of P donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Clavicular. Nearly $500,000 in donations from this one mystery donor, plus money for a $280,000 Maybach Sprinter van. The internet did what the internet does, and they started connecting dots. He admitted on stream that he got invited to a Thiel dinner party.
Do you know who Peter Thiel is? I got invited to a Peter Thiel party. You think that's gonna be a Diddy party? Probably. Whew.
Of course, he didn't say he went, but who's to say? So the internet did what the internet does. It started to connect the dots. Sprinter van, $500,000 in his first couple months streaming, mysterious donor named P. Then the dinner invite came along, which she allegedly rejected, to be fair. So the most popular theory is that P is Peter Thiel, funding a 20-year-old looksmaxxing streamer the same way you would any distribution channel you want pointed at a specific demographic. Now here's my favorite part of this entire story. A reporter paid $15,000 to get an interview with Clavicular. Sat down, immediately asked about Peter Thiel. Clavicular claims she was hired by Thiel to do a hit piece on Clavicular. Stood up, walked out, cameras rolling, zero evidence to support his claim.
Reporter who's tied to, a group who's maybe not doing some great things, we're gonna f her shit up. So, we're on.
So wait, you have people, right, that are tied to.
Have a good day. Take care.
Show me the proof.
Have a good day.
This is good storytelling.
Take care.
So this is what you do.
Hey Joe, our guest is ready to go.
But here's the thing. He was the one who told us about the dinner party.
You think that's gonna be a Diddy party? Probably.
Nobody found it. Nobody leaked it. Clavicular told people that he got invited to Peter Thiel's $11.5 million mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and then lost his mind when someone asked him about it. Very normal, very chill. Nothing to see here. So here's my thesis, as clearly as I can explain it. The entire culture war, left versus right, tribal politics, the manufactured outrage that has consumed public life, is not an accident. It was a product, not built by one person, not planned in one meeting, but there was a system, built deliberately, maintained deliberately, and aimed at one group of people with absolute precision. Young men, insecure, online and looking for something to hold on to. The architecture starts on a board that opens up the day after Jeffrey Epstein has dinner with the founder of 4chan. It runs through communities shaped by people with direct, documented ties to the most notorious blackmail operation in recent human history. Then it gets turned into a political weapon by a man who has 15 hours of footage with that same man. It gets funded by a billionaire who celebrated democracy fracturing in an email with Epstein. And it all wraps up right here, right now, tonight, with a 20-year-old on a casino's streaming platform telling teenagers to physically destroy themselves, all while a mystery donor donates $500,000 in a Sprinter van? That's not coincidence. That is the architecture. Now, am I wrong about parts of this? Possibly. I'm just one person with a YouTube channel and access to public records. I am not a journalist. I'm just asking questions and asking you to ask them along with me. But the other explanation, that all of this just comes together by pure chance, asks you to believe in the luckiest string of coincidences in the history of the internet. And here's what I know for certain, regardless of how any of this connects. There is a 13-year-old boy watching this content right now. Not Clavicular specifically, maybe, but something in this ecosystem. Some forum, some discussion board, some video, some comment section telling him that his life isn't the way he wants it to be because of the way he looks. Or because women are against him, or because society was designed to leave him behind. And he believes it, because he's 13, and he's lonely, and the internet found him before anyone else did. The loneliness that puts a kid down a rabbit hole at midnight is real. The insecurity that comes with thinking he needs to fundamentally change something about himself just to be worth something, that is real. Feeling of being invisible and alone and left behind, that is a real, genuine human feeling, and that needs real, genuine human attention. What it does not deserve is to be identified by an algorithm, packaged by a content creator who hates his job, funneled through a platform owned by a casino, and strip mined for gambling revenue by a company with documented ties to the most notorious predator network in recent history. That is what's happening right now to real kids. So if you got to the end of this video, thank you. Genuinely. Most people won't get here. The algorithm is not built for 30-minute conspiracy deep dives into the engineering of human insecurity. But you stayed anyway. Check in on the young men in your life. Not in a weird, intervention kind of way, just check. Ask what they're watching, ask how they're feeling. Be the one that finds them before the algorithm does. Because the pipeline I've described tonight is very real, and it's running, and it is very good at its job. So are you. Oh, okay. That was a lot. Even for me, that was a lot. I need to go outside and touch some grass and give my dog some love and go speak to a human who isn't actively bone smashing. Hopefully doesn't even know what bone smashing is. Sorry for that. And everything I talked about tonight, the Epstein files, the Moot dinner, the Bannon connection, the Thiel emails, it's all out there and available for you to look up for yourself. If you can't find it, shoot me a DM and I'd be happy. No, actually, no. You should find it yourself because you shouldn't just trust me. You shouldn't just trust anyone. That's kind of the whole point of tonight's video. Generally speaking, if you hear something online, you should probably fact check it in at least 1 or 2 places before you go spreading it somewhere else. I certainly try to do that myself. I'll be back next week with another video, and I'll be back with another rational rundown as soon as the internet gives us more weird stuff to talk about, which, showing history, is generally about 48 hours, but could be next week, could be next month. Depends entirely on what the internet does between now and then. Now go get some sleep, drink some water, call your mom. I'm Gemini Jonny. And this has been the Rational Rundown. Okay, so I finished filming this video on Wednesday, I believe, and by the time I was done editing on Saturday, Clavicular had found himself arrested. Twice. The first one, Florida Fish and Wildlife are investigating him after he live-streamed himself shooting an alligator. But according to my law degree that I got from google.com, that is also illegal. Then he bonded out, started live-streaming again, and allegedly instigated a fight between 2 women on the live stream and was then arrested for assault. 2 arrests, 2 different counties, just happens to be the 1 week that I'm making a video on him. Now earlier in the episode, I told you that this machine rewards escalation. Every time there are no consequences, the next thing is just going to be bigger. The Cybertruck incident, charges dropped. He's joking about it at parties weeks later. I said the machine produces this. I finished filming on a Wednesday. He was arrested twice by Saturday. I don't have anything clever to add to that. I just think it speaks for itself. Now, for real, go get some sleep, drink some water, and please do not go shooting alligators in the Everglades.